All right, so the Earth is like a baseball, and if it has mud on it and you throw it, the mud will stick to the spinning ball. And that's what you think is like gravity.
I don't think that that is
Holding
gravity.
one.
I was giving an example of what inertia is.
What is inertia?
Inertia is also known as momentum.
Okay.
It is the first law of Newton's laws.
Yeah.
Yes.
The guy who got hit over the head with an apple?
Yes, that is.
And
Newton.
then he concluded that something had to be pulling it down?
Something. He didn't conclude that something had to be pulling it down. However, he did conclude that there must be a reason why the apple fell. And then he did research from there.
You think it could have anything to do with like density and buoyancy?
Yes.
I mean, basically that's all it is, right? If it's heavier than the air, it's going to fall to the ground. If it's lighter, it'll float.
Not
I mean,
technically.
gravity's not pulling those clouds down, right?
It's not pulling them down, but it
Why
does
not?
have force on them. Because it has gravity has a force pulling down, and there's also an external force called the normal force that pushes upwards.
What's the force that pushes upwards? I never heard of that
It's
one.
called the normal force.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
See that rock over there?
Yes.
It's sitting on the ground, right?
Yes. No, I don't.
And
I actually
is
don't
gravity
see
having an effect on that rock right now?
it. It is.
Like a magnet.
Yes.
But it falls to the ground because of gravity. The force isn't me applying to lift it up, and then, of course, I picked it up, and then it falls down when I let go, right?
If there was no normal force, then the rock would be just pulling into the ground. However, because there's a normal force, it is sitting above the ground.
And you could prove this.
Yeah,
How?
physicists can prove it because
Through what? Mathematics?
Through mathematics, yes. Through calculus, the same thing that Isaac Newton, the guy with the apple on the head, discovered.
Is mathematics a description of something that you observe, or is it actually something happening? Because really, gravity's never been measured, right? I mean, gravity is like this super duper strong force that could hold buildings and oceans underneath a ball that's spinning, overcome all that centrifugal force, and yet at different latitudes, everything weighs the same.
It matters based on each. Because it has the same mass. The mass is the
Why can't you measure it? Because it's like super duper strong.
You can't measure it. The gravitational force of
what experiment has ever measured gravity? Name one.
Many of them by Albert Einstein.
Name one. You're a physics expert. He didn't measure gravity.
Okay,
everything he said is a theory.
He measured the acceleration of gravity, 9.81 meters per second squared.
No.
Yes, you did.
Can you do that in an experiment?
Yes, you
really?
can.
I bet you can't.
I bet you can.
How much you want to bake it back?
The distance equals the initial velocity.
I know what 9.8 meters per second squared is.
Perfect.
They taught me that in school.
So then you set it up for acceleration.
It doesn't work.
You give a distance, you drop it, and you get the exact time.
Different objects drop at different speeds, don't they? I have a
job to do.
But different objects drop at different speeds, right?
No, not in a vacuum.
Yeah, they do. Oh, but are we in a vacuum?
No, we have air resistance. However, the gravity.
So this is a positive pressure system?
The gravity.
This is a positive pressure system?
Yes, it has
and space
pressure.
Is a vacuum, right?
Space is a vacuum.
And you know this how?
Because that is what we are known to believe.
A belief?
Belief.
That's right.
Yes.
Because it's not a vacuum, right? It can't be a vacuum.
How can it not be a vacuum?
How can a positive pressure system exist inside a vacuum?
How can for instance, if a globe existed inside of a vacuum, if you put a globe in a vacuum, that is a positive pressure system in a vacuum. However, I need to go do my job. I appreciate your time and have a good day.
The Earth is flat, my man.
It is not flat.
Do some research. You're totally wrong. You could see things over water for over 100 miles. The formula is 9.8 feet per 9. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. 8 inches per mile squared. That's the curvature.